Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're talking a little entrepreneurship honesty. We're talking, do you really have what it takes to start a business? I'm going to take you guys through 7 things that you kind of have to start a business. And I'm just trying to keep an honest video here, and the video is not to scare you away from entrepreneurship, because if anything, that's what I preach on this channel. You know, starting your own business, I think it's very important. At some point in your life, you're probably going to want to do it. There's a good chance of that, so it's very important to learn. So the purpose of this video is not to scare you. It's simply just to give you an honest perspective from an entrepreneur, from someone that's been around entrepreneurs, that some of the deep stuff. And I think it will actually help you when you go to start that business, or if you're thinking about starting that business, because what would happen if only you heard about the good things, right? If only you saw on TV, you know, the Steve Jobs or the Elon Musk or the guy that started Snapchat or Mark Zuckerberg, the guys that make billions of dollars. If you don't really know the struggles behind it and the struggles you have to go through to start a business and the situations you have to go through, and then what could end up happening, you get an unrealistic perspective. When things are hard, you're more likely to quit. It's no different than, imagine if I knew someone trying to play football, right? You know, I'm talking about, you know, football, NFL football, you know, America's football game, right? If I told everybody, here, just watch this highlight tape of this guy and look at all the money he's making, and just showing you the good side, you're going to get a very unrealistic perspective. And then when you actually get out on the field and you're trying to play football, and you get smacked upside the head, and you get blindsided, and you feel like you just died, and you get up and you're seeing stars and you have no clue where you are, you're probably going to give up at that point. If I didn't tell you, you know, you're probably going to break bones or tear ligaments, or you're going to see other teammates alive on the field tear bones or break bones, or tear ligaments. If I didn't keep it real like that, you're going to get an unrealistic perspective. And then the next thing you know, you're going to see some guy break his leg, and you're going to be disgusted, and you're going to be like, oh, screw this sport is not for me. And you're going to get out of it right away, right? You've got to have a realistic perspective going into whatever you do in life. So that's what the purpose of this video is. Let's get into it, guys. So number 1, you got to ask yourself, are you willing to stay awake at night for months and months and think, is this going to work? Is this even going to work? Because that's what's going to happen. Most businesses, for at least the first 6 months, you're going to stay awake at night and you're going to be thinking, what am I doing? Is this even going to work out? Is this plan even going to work out? Is this business even going to work out? You're going to stay awake thinking about that at night. You're going to be thinking about that all the time. Should I just go work for a company? Should I maybe try to start another business? Should I just go back to the old company I was working for if I was working for somebody before? That's what you're going to be thinking about constantly, because it's going to be hard. 99.9% of the time, it's going to be very difficult those first 6 months of getting that business up and running. There's the 0.1% chance you're just going to be an overnight success. You're going to be a Snapchat or Facebook or something. It's just going to go huge, whatever you're trying to do overnight, right? But for the other 99.9%, it's going to be very difficult those first 6 months. You're going to have to try to build up client relationships. You're going to have to try to build the business. You're going to have to try to talk to all these people, all these things. It's going to be difficult. So the first 6 months, you're going to just stay awake at night, if not the first year, and think, is this going to work? You're going to be willing to say to yourself, I know this is going to be really hard, and I know I'm going to stay awake at night thinking, is this even going to work out? If you're willing to do that, then you can go on to the next step. Number 2, you got to be willing to have that door slammed on your face. Whatever product, whatever service you're trying to sell, way more people are not going to want that product or service than actually want it. So when you're sending those emails, when you're making those phone calls, when you're doing those meetings in person, you're going to be willing to be, you're going to get turned down. You're flat out, like 9 out of 10 times, if not more than that, you're going to get turned down. So don't be scared. If you're scared of rejection, you're going to have a lot of trouble, guys. I mean, the people that are actually the most successful entrepreneurs, a lot of them at least, are the people that, you know, when it came time for prom, you know, if they asked a girl on a date and they got rejected, they weren't scared to go ask the next one and the next one. The people that have trouble are the ones that got rejected and then they never asked anybody again. They said, okay, I guess I'm not going to prom. When you're asking people to buy your product or service and they have no clue what you're about, the chances are they don't want to buy it. Like straight up, they don't want to buy it. So, but realize there's laws of probability. If 5 out of every 100 customers actually are interested and might actually buy it, then realize when the door slammed 95 times in a row in your face, those next 5 times, there's a good chance those are going to be the ones that buy it. So don't get discouraged by that. Don't be scared of rejection, because you're going to face ridiculous amounts of rejection when you start a business. You're going to face the most rejection you probably faced in your entire life, guys. So be ready for that. Be prepared. Number 3, you got to have the ability to change lanes. So meaning, maybe your business idea was a certain way from the get-go, right? You're going to be willing to change that business idea and go maybe a different direction, because maybe that original business idea, it wasn't enough. Maybe it wasn't a great idea. For instance, with my business, my real estate marketing company, I had the idea right off the bat that I was going to only focus on luxury homes. I was only going to focus on videos. What I realized a couple months in, I was not going to cut it. I was not going to be able to make a living doing that. I had to expand into more products like regular photography, which is the main selling point. I had to be willing to learn all that. I had to be willing to execute on it. Then I had to be willing to go out and sell that product to people. And mind you, I only had a few months experience at this point. So you gotta be willing to change lanes. If you cannot go in a different direction really quick, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle. If you're so caught up on, oh, this idea is gonna work, you're gonna struggle and you might end up failing unless somehow that idea is so perfect, you know? But you gotta be willing to adapt. You gotta be willing to change some things here and there. Number 4, you gotta have the ability to see the glass is half full. If you're not an optimist, if you're not optimistic about situations in life, if you're not eternally optimistic, it's gonna be difficult for you. If you're negative Nancy and everything's a negative thing for you, good luck trying to start a business. You gotta be entrepreneurs, people starting businesses are almost overly optimistic. They're almost unrealistically optimistic, but that's what gets them through the hard times. If you're not optimistic, and once those struggles happen, that's just going to confirm your non-optimism, right? And you're just going to get down on yourself and you're going to quit. You're going to quit your business. You're going to, throw in the towel 2-3 months in, and that's going to be that. And you're going to go back working your $40,000 job year or whatever you're doing. So you got to be an optimist if you're going to start a business. If you're not optimistic about things, don't even try it, because it's never going to work for you. I'm just being straight up, because like I said, 99.9% of the time, you're going to have struggles. And if you see those struggles as just negative, you're just going to get yourself fed up and you're going to throw in that towel quick. Number 5, you got to have high confidence in yourself. You got to have high confidence in the product or service you are selling, because you're probably going to need to sell to somebody that product or service. You're going to need to sell yourself to somebody. So you better have high confidence in whatever you're trying to sell and in yourself, because people want to know if you have high confidence in yourself. If you're like a low self-esteem person, good luck trying to start a business. It's going to be very hard. And how to get high confidence and those kinds of things, I can't really tell you how to do that. I mean, you do some psychology work or some types of things like that. Do some things in life that will solely raise your confidence. Look at things from a different perspective on trying to build yourself up, rather than, oh, I didn't do this, so I need to tear myself down. I did do this. I did achieve this, so build that confidence higher. Have high confidence in yourself. Have high confidence in that product service, because otherwise you're just going to come across as unconfident. When you do that, and especially when it's a business no one knows anything about, when you come across as unconfident, they're not going to do business with you straight up. Number 6, be willing to invest in that business rather than buy stuff. I'm always reinvesting in my business. Now, I do realistic investments. I do investments that are probably going to bring me a return on capital, right? But I'm always willing to reinvest in my business first and foremost, rather than go out and buy stuff. Some examples. I just bought a new camera for my real estate business, right? $1,000. Just bought a new camera. It takes things to a little bit of the next level. Just bought a Segway type thing. I don't know what you call it. It's got 2 wheels on the side that I'm going to be able to roll around people's houses. I've done a couple. It's pretty cool. And get videos and whatnot. There's another $400 from Best Buy. So that's $1,400 I just spent in the last month on my business reinvesting it, rather than spending that $1,400 on buying myself a new flat screen, buying myself a PlayStation 4, buying myself this or that. I just bought a super high-end, like $250 router. A router and whatever you call the other part of it, Wi-Fi connection and whatnot. I bought one of those over there, super high end. I spent that money because it's willing. I upload videos every single day on this channel, and it saves me a lot of time if I can get that upload done in 20 minutes rather than 40 minutes or an hour, which the old one was taking. This one's phenomenal. It's top of the line. Spent $200 and something on that last month. I bought some new additions here. I bought a new picture that's actually my city instead of New York City. I'm always willing to spend the money. I'm always willing to spend the money on the business, because that's what's going to build me more money, rather than spending it on myself, going out and buying a new car, going and doing this, going and doing that. You got to be willing to reinvest into your business rather than buy things for yourself. Number 7, last but not least, number 7, you got to be very self-motivated. If you're not very self-motivated, I don't know how entrepreneurship will work for you. I seriously don't. I mean, being an entrepreneur is much like being an athlete. You got a lot of people you're competing with, whether you're an athlete or whether you're starting a business. If you're not self-motivated to go do that run, go do those sprints, go run until you throw up, go lift those weights for the next 2 hours, you're going to have a hard time succeeding as an athlete, unless you just have such a God-given abilities that you can do that, right? But that's 0.001% of the people. Same thing with business. Unless you have such an amazing idea that it's just so easy for you, which is 0.01% of the probability, you got to be very self-motivated. You got to be a self-starter. You got to be able to get up in the morning and be ready to go. Like, you can't have somebody else pushing you, because when you start a business, there's no one else to push you. There's no boss ahead of you that says, hey, get your ass to work or I'm going to fire you tomorrow. There's no one doing that. It's you versus you. So you got to be a self-starter if you want to succeed in business. And that's honestly why a lot of people that play sports are actually a lot better chance of them succeeding in entrepreneurship, because they know the work you have to put in. They know how hard you have to bust your ass to be successful at something, to even be halfway decent at something. So if you have that type of mindset going in to start a business, you're very self-motivated, you can probably succeed. I can guarantee that, even if your business is not the best idea in the world. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. 7 things that are just entrepreneur type honesty. I wanted you guys to enjoy this today, and I want you to kind of look at that not as a thing to scare you away from starting a business, just to look at it from a real perspective of an actual business owner on some things, because then you're not gonna be as likely to fail and throw in the towel really quick when you start a business, if you're aware of these things and if you do not commit them, guys. So if you just came across this today, you may want to subscribe. We talk personal finance on the channel. I'm an actual business owner. I give away so many business tips like we did today. We talk the stock market the most of anything. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.